Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Q&A session. My name is Munir and I will be hosting this week. Q&A sessions are run by you guys. If you have any questions, you can start asking them right away. If not, then I guess I will start off with going through a basic intro to the iGUIDE camera system. How do you detach the camera? I'm assuming you mean the 360 Theta on top of the Planck. It is held onto the Planck's core by screws. I can actually give you a better answer. It's in the manual. So if you look at our website on iGUIDE and resources, our camera manual, sorry, is under there for download. And here you can find a detailed instructions on how to detach, quote unquote, the 360 Theta off of the Planck. All right, so there are 4 M3 screws that you need to unscrew using a Phillips screwdriver. And then you can lift the top part. Underneath, the Theta is attached using a thumb screw and a USB connector. You release the USB connector that connects the Planex to the thing and to the 360 Theta, and you can remove it from the top. So we have another question from an anonymous attendee. If I want to send an update file to an existing iGUIDE, but the file is too large to attach to a ticket, how do I send the files? That's a great question. In that case, basically you upload that tar file that you want us to update the iGUIDE with to a third-party file sharing service. So that would be Google Drive or Dropbox or WeShare. I believe there's a lot more, but any of those third-party file sharing services, you would upload your tar file there, and you would make sure that this tar file is viewable by anyone with link, right? So that we can view it and also our drafting team. And then you would share us this link through a ticket and indicate that you want us to update an existing iGUIDE with that tar file. I hope that answers your question. In the meantime, I guess since we don't have anything going, any questions right now, I'll start with Stitch a little bit. Stitch will open up blank when you open up brand new. If you have it like in the background, it'll open up with the last Stitch file you had. And when you want to open up a new file, you go up to the top left corner, you want to load a project. The first button will do that for you. Um, I have sample data for you that I want to use. So it's Planck sample data. You click on it once, right? And then select folder. Ooh, this is great. I'm glad that this happened. This is a malfunction of sorts that a lot of our operators face, where they're like, oh, I clicked the folder and it won't open for me, and they get this big box right here. Error, could not load Stitch project. The selected folder does not seem to contain data from IMS camera systems. And this is kind of really confusing because obviously, as you could tell, I opened up the right folder, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit OK. We're going to go back to the top left load project button right over here. Right. Okay. And then we're going to go back to where I put the folder. It was a Planck sample data. So that last time what I did was I clicked it once, selected it, and it didn't open. So I'm going to hit it again, click it again, sorry. And here we have this folder. So anytime you have a folder with your data in it, when you click on it and you open up into the main floor, now you know you've gone too far into the folder. You want to go back one up. And this is the folder that will open up in Stitch. We call this the parent folder or the original project folder, right? So this will have the main floor in it. You go one up. This one is the one that will open up, hopefully, when I press select folder. Like magic. There we go. And here we go. We have our first Stitch, our Stitch sample data of sorts. Let's see, we have a question. All right, so the question is, if I have an exterior garage/shed and I want it drafted, how do I organize the data while using survey? Can they be connected during the tour? And if so, how? Great question, anonymous attendee. I guess let's put a scenario out there. You've scanned your entire first main floor, and now you've want to go and you want to scan the garage slash shed, it doesn't indicate if the garage is attached or not. But either way, you go and you scan the garage. I would recommend, if you want it drafted, you place the garage on the main floor, align it as best as you can. If the garage is attached, you'll align it to the stitch data as is, and it'll be drafted. If it's separate, then I guess you'll put it on its own floor or a separate building. And as a separate building, you'll add it to your, for example, here we have, that's a great, I think I can demonstrate here. Here, this is an iGUIDE without an exterior garage, I believe. Yep, as you can see from here. While you're doing it, while you're scanning your main floor in Stitch, in Survey, you can add a new building, and then you'll add in the exterior garage or the shed, and you'll scan it there. Survey doesn't have the option to add a new building, so you would add it in as a new floor, right? You would add it in as a new floor in Stitch, and then, in Survey, and then when you are in Stitch and you've uploaded your data to Stitch and you've opened it here you would add it as a new building. You would then right click and you can, right click up here and you can add a building and rename it to garage. Right, so you rename here, you could add a garage. Let me do that again. I guess I think I did that too quick. Right, so initially the question is, how do I add in and make sure that the exterior garage is drafted? And in Survey, we don't have the option to add it in as a separate building, so you would add it in as a new floor. And that will look something like this, where you have a second floor here in the same building. But since the garage is a separate building, you would take your scan, you would first, you would click on your project folder name. So this one is Planet Data. You click over here and you would add a new building to that project. Here, you can rename it to, right click on it in garage, and then you would move your new floor to the garage, like that. How do I zoom in the floor plan during the virtual tour? Exterior panels make the floor plan seem very small. Okay. Finally was able to find an iGUIDE that I could help with this question. The question is, if you have a floor plan, well, how do I zoom in the floor plan during the virtual tour? Exterior panels make the floor plan seem very small. So this iGUIDE here, we have an exterior panel over here. Usually we have, or sometimes we have a lot more on an iGUIDE, which would make this floor plan seem a lot smaller. And the way to help you with that would be just click on our zoom button here. It's in the top left corner, and it'll help you zoom in so that you can better navigate. Because on the floor plan, it also has these green dots, which will allow you to navigate to each room on the floor plan. Sometimes when there are too many exterior panels, then the floor plan is zoomed out a lot, and that makes it difficult to kind of choose these green dots that are kind of closer together. So the top left corner has a zoom option and a zoom right into the floor plan for you, and this will help you better see the panels on the floor plan. Follow-up question: if I want to change the label of a room, how do I do that? Let's say this is our iGUIDE and you want to change one of these labels, the kitchen, the dining room, one of them is mislabeled. That's definitely possible. You would do that on the portal. So you need to open this iGUIDE in the portal. Here, you have all these tools that are available to you to edit an iGUIDE. And you want to edit, most of your edits will be done on the Edit Default View tool here on the left, the first one. So you click that, you'll have your general settings or your gallery setting that you can edit, but we want general. So you click right here, it'll pop up this page. And when you scroll down, you'll have a viewer of your iGUIDE here, right? And you have all your floor plans here. You have your different floors. You can go to if you have a different building like this one, This one had an outside shop on the same property that they scanned. Oops, sorry. Which they added as a separate building, which looks like that. The main building, they named the first floor the foyer. Kind of makes sense. But the question was, how do we change the label? So right now, again, we can't see them pretty well. We want to zoom in. We could also save this zoom by the way. Like, so I've clicked on the button. I've zoomed into the floor plan. Once I'm at a length, a width, a size that I like, go here to actions, and you can set it as the initial zoom of that floor plan. You go like that, it'll set this, and you'll save it. And now every time your iGUIDE opens up, it'll save to that same thing. That's a nice side note. But to edit a label, you see these little pencil icons next to all of your labels. You'd click on that, and here's what where you can change that label. So you can just label it as kitchen. You could change the label. Let's say we're gonna say food place, right? And you can click OK. That'll change it there, but it won't save it unless you click save down here. So anytime you make a change to your iGUIDE here through the edit default view tab, you want to make sure to save those changes because then they don't get saved. You'll see them here, and then as soon as you leave this page or you close it, you won't ever, it won't stick, it won't, what's the word? It won't stick to the iGUIDE, it won't stay, basically. I hope that answered that question. So we have a question, when we add a garage, but there are no fixed furnishings, can we do basic drafting, not premium on that building? Yes, I believe so. To those of you who are not aware of a premium iGUIDE, it's the difference between that and a standard iGUIDE would be the premium fixtures that we add into the floor plans, like the stove, the sink, the toilet, all of that furnishings parts of fixtures of the home, they get added into the premium iGUIDE floor plans, as opposed to standard, which don't have those. And I believe this answer to this question is yes. We can definitely do basic drafting. The next question is, if I submit a drone panel, but I have placed it incorrectly, will the drafting team move the panel for me and place it where it is supposed to go? What can I do to ensure the drafters know my specific requests or custom notes? That's a good question. In my experience, the drafting team does not move the panel. They tend to take it for how you submit the data. So wherever you've placed the user panel, it stays in that spot and is drafted as such. And if you have any specific requests on an iGUIDE or some custom notes that you want to leave, then leave a note. Let me actually where's Stitch? Yep. So let's say you wanted to leave a note somewhere. Let me move this, sorry. Kind of annoying. On this panel somewhere, I wanted to leave a note, right? So I'm over here. This icon in the, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth icon with a pencil. This will indicate note mode, quote unquote. And if I double click on the data, I'll be able to add a note here. Add a random note, right? So this way I can move it around. This is also a good tool to label rooms if you wanted it labeled customly. Like for example, you wanted a bathroom labeled a spaceship for whatever reason, right? You can label your rooms as such, and the drafting team will label them that way. I guess within reason, of course. You can also leave notes here. So when you click on the project name, you can leave comments and notes here, and these will be seen by our drafting team. Please name the bathroom on the first floor a spaceship. And the drafting team will see this and this, they will follow these notes. If ever you have left notes and they haven't been followed or they've been missed for whatever reason, please create a ticket, reach out to support, and we will have our drafting team um, go through the iGUIDE data again and see if they can, like some requests are custom requests that would be needed to add it in later, or there would be add-on pricing for that. I'm not sure off the top of my head, so I would definitely create a ticket. So Mark has a question. In the room edit screen, there was a field named room type added not long ago. It is populated by drafting when the tour is created. What is the purpose of this field? Room type. Okay, so let's see here. Like for example, the living room. Are you talking about this room type right here? Um, this is an indication of the space. So these room types have their own color schemes on the floor plans. So let's say this is the living room. We give it the type living room. It'll be this light yellow colorway. If you want to give it the kitchen, it'll change into the same color as the kitchen. This room type, it helps you better organize the spaces and color code them on your floor plans. Um, yeah, because every space has its own different kind of color coordination. Kitchen is like light green, chairs are gray, dining room is this cream beige color, I believe so. So the room type, the purpose of this is to indicate what kind of a room it is, of course, room type, and then also to give it its own color scheme. I hope that answers your question, Mark. So Martha, so if you're on our portal, for example, this is your portal, you're on it, this would be how it will look for you. A little bit different because this is this is how it looks for me, but generally speaking, this would be how it looks for you, right? You would see your iGuides that you can edit here, you can search through them, and support button over here. Once you're over here, you can create a ticket, which is click on this button here. If you did not already create a support account, you would have to create that. So that I'd like to clarify. The support account is separate than your portal account. So this is the portal, the account that you use to log in here. Um, that account does not automatically have its own support account. So we recommend that you, at the beginning or as soon as you have your operator account set up, you also create your support account, and then you'll be able to um, create, oh, oops. And here you'll be able to create a ticket. This is how it looks for me, but you'll be able to create a description and ask all your questions, and you have to fill some fields, and you'll be able to submit a ticket that way. You have all your questions there. So this will be what the support desk looks from you. So you won't be logged in automatically. You'll have to log in. You should create a new support login. You can use the same, actually we recommend you use the same email that you use to make your portal account. Okay, so Martha's question. For you, I do recommend creating a ticket with all of us with your questions because I think I need to, well, actually, let me get it for you. When you're on our website, under resources, we have technical training. Here, you have a step-by-step training module that you can go through. You have your camera system, which helps you set up your camera, and we'll just click on it. So you'll choose whether you have the IMS5 or you have the Planix. A lot of you guys have the Planix because you're new operators. And here you'll find our Planix training. LMS, basically. So you have a first look getting started. All of these are great videos, and these will help you with your Planix training. And when you're done with that, you'll have your Stitch training here, which will help you with the videos here, all that. I think I'm going to link this for you guys. That will be a good place to start. Once again, Martha, highly recommend you create a ticket and have us better explain things for you through the ticketing system. We have a last question. Do we need to open closets, shower curtains? What about walk-in closets? Oh, 100%. A lot of our operators miss closets and they don't open up shower curtains. The camera does not scan data through walls or doors. So we always highly recommend that you open the doors and you open shower curtains especially, so that the data we have enough data for those back walls and are able to accurately represent your spaces. And in walk-in closets, you want to take a scan within the walk-in closet so that we have a proper scan of that whole space. If you have closets within the walk-in closet, um, I recommend you open those as well. Because the more data we have, the better accurate your measurements and your floor plans will be. All right, I guess that's it for today. We are over time for 4 minutes. I hope that I was able to answer everyone's questions really well. I look forward to seeing you at our next Q&A in 2 weeks. If you have any additional questions, please create a ticket and we'll promptly get you some answers. All right, everyone have a good evening or a good rest of your day, and thank you for joining the QA session.